Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 220. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for Rated G for as little as $1, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, It's Just About Memorial Day, Robinson.
What's going on, man?
Well, it's just about Memorial Day. I think by the time this episode comes out, Memorial Day would have come and gone. Hope everybody had a nice holiday. Hope you had a good holiday, Dan. I don't know if you have any Memorial Day plans, but
I'm going to be barbecuing in isolation.
I like it.
I told you last episode I brought back patio furniture, right?
Yes.
Just so like close family, no friends, can come over. And what I mean by close family, I mean my family that lives a couple of blocks away from me.
Right. And you guys have kind of been in contact with each other, and you're doing the distancing thing, and you can have gatherings responsibly, you know. Small, intimate. Everyone's wearing a mask, which is going to be weird, but we've already been around each other, right? Like, because like we're all been isolated, separately, in our houses. But my cousin, my little cousin had his birthday like 2 weeks ago, and my big cousin, she came with her boyfriend. Don't know where he's been. Don't know where she's been. So they had to come and wear a mask in the house and stuff. Yeah. Right. Had to spray him down. Yep.
Because there are foreign substances coming into something that, we've been isolated, but we've been together, right? Sort of when you want to get a change of scenery. So be doing the same thing here. I told her she's welcome to come, but, don't know where she's been. Don't know where her boyfriend's been. So they have to wear masks. Are they going to be around us? So, yeah, that's pretty much my plans. Just, barbecue and more video games. Nice.
I'm with you on the video game thing.
I may even dust off the good old PSVR. I may do it, Dave.
Dan.
I may do it.
Dan, you have to. You haven't even played. Tell me you played Wipeout Omega Collection in VR.
I have not played Wipeout.
Oh my God! Please do yourself a favor and do that, and report back how beautiful New York is. All right.
I want to dust it off. I want to get into it. I want to play a bunch of games.
Nice.
So I'm all in. I want to play. Was it Moss? Right. I have Moss. I have all these PSVR games. I haven't even played it yet.
Yeah, Moss, Astrobot. There's a ton.
I have Astrobot, like the best game for it. I haven't played it yet.
So before we continue, we do have a special bit on the show that we're going to be doing later on. There is a Zelda quiz. Dan, you found this Zelda quiz online. You have taken the Zelda quiz, right? And
I've taken this Zelda quiz, the original. So we're going to test Dave's Zelda knowledge. Dave's a big Zelda fan. Me, not so much. I'm not so much nostalgic for it. I love Zelda now, right? So I know you.
Breath of the Wild is.
Breath of the Wild got me into Zelda.
It's 10 out of 10. It's fantastic on the Dave scale.
So I took the original Zelda quiz. I got an okay score. I know you're gonna blow this out the water. However, the original quiz that I took had some pictures, so I don't want to show you pictures because that doesn't make good podcasting. So I've mixed it up
Fair
a little
enough,
bit.
right? It's got to be audio clues, right? It's got to be questions.
So I mixed it up a little bit, and I took half from NintendoLife.com that they posted the original quiz I took, and I took half from actual Nintendo website. They actually have quizzes up on there, which is pretty cool. So I took half and half, and we're gonna mix them up, and we're gonna test your knowledge on Zelda.
I feel good, man. I feel confident. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. So, yeah, that'll be.
Okay. I'm gonna throw you a snowball question. I'm gonna throw you a snowball question.
It'll be a snowball. You mean a curveball?
A curveball. I'm gonna throw you a softball.
I don't. Oh, it'll be a softball. I see.
I'm gonna throw you a softball.
I see.
I'm gonna throw you a curveball. I'm gonna throw you a snowball. It's gonna be a snowball. And it's going to be a curveball.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first, folks. All right, Dan is making up new terminology. All right,
new terminology.
These colloquialisms are being birthed right here.
Can you name the princess in the Legend of Zelda series?
Can I name the princess? Well, Dan, you got me stumped. I got to tap out. I can't. I don't know the name of the princess in the Legend of Zelda. I don't know Princess Zelda's name in the Legend of Zelda. No.
Okay. All right. Boom. All right. I'm just getting you ready. I'm just getting prepared. I may throw you some snow curveballs throughout the show.
Curveballs,
just to get you prepped and ready for the quiz.
All right. Yeah. So,
but Dave, how was your weekend?
The weekend is still going, right? We're kind of in the thick of it right now. I am celebrating Memorial Day by doing my American right to get tested. I went and I got both tests. I got the antibody test, and I got the do you currently have the zombie apocalypse outbreak virus? All right, so I did both. I was in and out. It was super quick. I recommend everybody to get one, right? Because you're just boom, boom. Dan, you got to go and get one, right? Just to know.
Well, and I think the results come back within like less than a week, right?
These were, this wasn't the rapid test, but it was it's a 3 to 5 day test is what they said, right? So I went to the City MD, right? Those are ubiquitous. They're all over they're all over New York. But I mean, you can go online and find, there's a COVID testing site that you can just go to and punch in your address and it'll tell you this place is doing it. The City MD charged me nothing. There was a zero copay. I just walked in. They gave the test for free. So our president in chief was not wrong. He did not lie, right? You waive all the copay or the whatever. You just go in, you get the thing, and you'll know in a couple days whether you're tested or not.
In a week from now, we'll know if you're going to be a participant in The Last of Us Part 2. Or
right,
or you're actually just going to be playing the game. We'll see.
So here's what probably is going to be the outcome based on where you and me have both been, and our proximity to the amount of people, and the fact that I exhibited one or two of these symptoms when we were in Boston for the PAX Penny Arcade, right? And knowing that some people there, we have verified that they contracted the coronavirus and had it there. So there's a strong possibility that I have the antibodies, or at least one of the antibodies for one of the virus strains or whatever it is, right? Which is a good sign in that case. I'm pretty sure I won't come back positive for currently having it, right? I limit the amount of people that I come in contact with to maybe 50 a week at best, right? Probably even less than that, honestly, unless I have to go to the supermarket, which you got to get food. So what are you going to do? So, yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully, you're not going to turn into a zombie.
You and me both.
I will take the test when everything calms down just a little bit. I mean, I haven't really gone anywhere other than the supermarket,
right?
And down the block to my uncle's house. Mm-hmm. So I've definitely limited my exposure. Don't take the public transportation or anything like that. So we'll see. We shall see as we go forward and everything starts to open up. But I'm excited, Dave. I'm excited. And I'm going to tell you why I'm excited. Because I just found out literally just found out like today that and I know I'm a little late to this party, but we're gonna get the Snyder cut of Justice League on HBO Max next year.
Oh.
So.
Oh boy. There are several things wrong with that sentence.
Well, look, we did a whole show on Batman v Superman a couple of years ago.
We did. Right? The very It's Okay movie.
Yeah, and I told you when they released the full version later on, I said the movie made a lot more sense to me. It was a little bit longer because the movie was already like 2.5 hours long, so it made it 3 hours long. But it just made sense. Continuity was there. Justice League, I did not think was bad by any stretch. It wasn't great. It was not Suicide Squad, right? Suicide Squad was terrible.
Yeah. I mean, who knew that you couldn't do 17 different origin stories in one movie and not have it turn out well?
Well, look, what they should have did was have a bunch of movies where these guys get captured, right? Like they're the bad guy. They don't even have to be the main bad guy in the movie. They could just be sort of like just a side villain.
And that's captured. What brings everybody together?
Yeah, and then, you know, that would have made a little bit more sense that, all right, I'm sort of introduced to these characters somewhat, right? So I'm excited.
You're right. But they wanted to rush to market. They wanted to get their Avengers team-up movie out the door super quick. And they didn't do it right. You know, they ended up rushing it. And, I mean, you could have done that, I think. It's very difficult, right? Given a compressed timeline, like everything has to be 100% on point. Every scene needs to be like the freaking Godfather of like scenes, right? Everything needs to mean something and have purpose. And, you know, you don't want to do that. You want to sit there and take time with it. And they're just like, nah, we're not going to do that. So that's what you get. Yeah.
So I'm excited. It sucks it's only going to be on HBO Max, right?
Right. Which for those of you who don't know, like HBO Max is now a new service beyond HBO Go, and beyond HBO Now is now HBO Max.
Well, I thought they were like consolidating all of that into HBO Max.
Well, I think what they're going to do, right? So HBO, the service, the cable channel is its own thing. Get it through your cable provider. You have cable, you can get HBO as an add-on or for free for a discount if you sign up for an account. Like they're kind of just like enticing you to come in because HBO is good programming. HBO Go comes free with HBO, right? I believe that's how that works. HBO Now is a separate service for people who don't have HBO as a cable service, right? So I believe it's a completely separate app too, right? They don't even like combine the streams or anything. And then HBO Max is their new service, which I think HBO Now is going to become HBO Max, and it'll have everything that HBO shows and original content like the Snyder Cut of Justice League, like the new Adventure Time stuff, and, you know, whatever else they're putting on there.
This just got really complicated.
Yeah, tell me about it, Dad.
Well, I get HBO for free because I have AT&T. And
there you go. But you will not
pick HBO or you can pick. I don't get it for free on TV because I have AT&T. So AT&T owns DirecTV. So you have the DirecTV app, which has access to all the HBO shows on demand.
So you don't get the channel, but you do get it like HBO Go, I guess.
Yeah, sort of. Yes, I have the DirecTV. Even though I don't have DirecTV, I have AT&T. So my AT&T screen name and password will get me into DirecTV's app to watch HBO.
It's ridiculous.
Just as convoluted. Or Stars, so I picked HBO.
Yeah, I think you made the right choice, right? Not to say that Stars doesn't have bad content, but...
Yeah, well, it's more things in HBO that I want to see than Stars. So we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that. Also, good news. Found out Bayonetta 3 still in development. Just a side note.
Yeah, right.
We haven't heard anything. We definitely haven't seen anything.
No. The last thing we heard was Reggie when he was working for Nintendo. He came out on stage and said, hey, yeah, Bayonetta 3, it's happening.
That was the Game Awards 2018, I believe.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
So we're almost 3 years in. They probably just started Bayonetta 3 and they wanted something Jeff Keighley wanted something from Nintendo to announce, sort of, at the Game Awards.
I 100% think that was the case. So they were like, just like getting off the ground. They're like Platinum's like, biting at the bit, and it's like, we need to make a new game. So, all right.
So Bayonetta 3 still in development, and there was a rumor out there that Microsoft's going to buy Platinum. They've shut those rumors down. Platinum, they actually want to start publishing certain games, especially being a self-publisher in their games. So that would have been a good get for Microsoft to have sort of like a Japanese studio. They could have had like the Bayonetta series, Astral Chain, Wonderful 101, like on that platform, but I don't think it would do as well because this just doesn't really do well in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to do it a little bit on the original Xbox with Tecmo and that partnership, which did okay because it was a little bit more Western-y style with like Japanese flavor mixed in because Itagaki's weird.
Sega, right?
They tried to do it with Sega as well. They tried to get that in.
It was essentially the Dreamcast 2, right? It had all
That's right.
equals to all the Dreamcast game.
Right. We had the Toe Jam and Earl, the Jet Set Radio. We had the Panzer Dragoon. There was like a ton of games. A lot of them were Shenmue. Yeah. A lot of them were good to great, but the sales numbers didn't bear out. So
Shenmue probably would have did better if it was like on PS2.
Right. And they also tried to do it on the 360. They tried to get Sakaguchi, the father of Final Fantasy, to come over, and he made Blue Dragon. There was another game, Lost Odyssey. They were these big RPGs. They did okay. Again, I think they would have done better on PlayStation, PS3 or whatever. But yeah. So.
Well, talking about Xbox exclusives. Like games that are being exclusive that are not exclusive anymore. New Super Lucky's Tale, right? I mean, that was sort of, it was just Super Lucky's Tale on the original Xbox One. I bought it because it was like, I sort of love those type of platformers, 3D platformers.
Yeah, it had a good aesthetic.
Didn't do so well. I mean, you're showing Super Lucky's Tale, and then you're showing like sort of like Halo and Gears of War. Just doesn't seem like it fits, right?
Yeah, right. It's totally very different.
Yeah. Then new Super Lucky's Tale, with the whole game with all the DLC or new levels came to the Switch. Bought that, but it's actually now coming to the PS4. Well, new Super Lucky's Tale is coming to PS4. New Super Lucky's Tale. Say that 10 times fast. It's coming to the Xbox One as well.
So new Super Lucky's Tale, as in like the advanced hyper fighting version of Super Lucky's Tale.
Yeah, less the fighting part.
Okay, less the fighting. Right, but it has all the enhanced flavor. Okay, so
yeah.
All right.
So
interesting.
So I will not be getting that for the Xbox or the PS4, but I have it because I already have the original Xbox and I have new Super Lucky's Tale for the Switch. So not picking that up.
Right.
But these are games that you can pick up starting next month in June, with notable games coming out in June. Not that big of a month as far as releases go. I mean, we're gonna get like a bunch of new announcements for next gen in the fall. It's E3 sort of season, right? So historically,
we're just about there.
Historically, has it been a lot of big name games released in June?
No,
right?
No, it's the dry season, right? The summer months are, everyone is developing said games, and everybody else is hanging outside because it's warm.
So we got The Outer World, right? It was promised to come to the Switch, and it's coming, right? It's coming to the Switch. It already came. I already have it for the PS4.
Yep.
Obsidian.
It's a very
owned
good
by
game.
Microsoft.
It's a quick game, but it's good. It's good.
So don't know if there's a physical edition coming. That would be nice. Maybe I would think about picking it up if it did have a physical edition.
Right. Well, you know everything's not going to be on the disc.
Well, in this case,
it's probably going to be that.
It's not going to be on the cart. I mean.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. The cart. Yeah.
Downloadable.
Exactly.
We'll see.
Yeah, it'll probably be like a little bit on the thing, and then the rest.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Take Two, right? Well, 2K has all of those other games that came out. I don't know if I'm going to get Borderlands because that's not all in this. XCOM. Well, maybe I would get XCOM just because I don't really have any XCOM games.
Oh, it's good.
So-
It's good. It's a beefier version of Mario Rabbids. Same kind of game.
Got it.
Tactical RPG.
But the Outer Worlds for the Switch coming out June 5th. Then we got Burnout Paradise Remastered also coming out on the Switch June 19th. I already have this for the PS4. The big guns are coming. Well, this, I think Sony, their hand was forced, and they had to release it in June because the ending was already leaked. The Last of Us Part 2, PS4, also coming out June 19th.
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be out last March,
It was supposed,
right?
It was supposed to be out originally in February, then in May. This month.
February, and then the May, right? Yeah,
And then it was indefinitely postponed until it was leaked, and then they announced that Ghost of Tsushima was pushed from June to July, and then this was coming out in June. Then we got SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for the Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, June 23rd. Don't know why that's not coming to Stadia. Come on, Stadia, you gotta up your game. Well, we'll talk about Stadia later in the show. And you got Ninjala coming out to the Switch, June 24th. That's definitely going to be a digital game. I thought that was cool when we saw that in the Direct a few months ago. And the game that you've been anticipating, a game that I know you're going to buy, coming out June 30th for the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC. Still no Stadia, no Straight Roads.
It honestly, I think it would do well on the Stadia platform. All right, it's great. The conceit is indie rock versus EDM, right? It's the rebels fighting off against the giant machine. So they pit music genre versus music genre, and they mash it up in the soundtrack. It's great. I immediately when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is like a Jet Set Radio style, like where it kind of exudes all this kind of personality. So I'm definitely getting this. I will be getting the special edition, guaranteed, because comes with the vinyl soundtrack and all that and all this other good stuff. So, Dan, I'm hype. This is going to be my Witcher 3.
Okay. All right. So, Dave, as we always try to start the show but epically fail, what have you been playing?
Oh, Dan. My favorite part of the show. Just before we started this, I was continuing my Final Fantasy VII Remake adventure. I'm pretty close to the end. I think I'm chapter 12 or 13 right now.
How many hours so far do you think?
That's a good question. I'd say probably like 25 to 30, I think.
Man, were you really trying to? I mean, I beat it in 25. So if you're at like 25 or 30 and you haven't beaten it yet, you're definitely trying like the 100% it. You're trying to find everything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to get all the materia, trying to get all the summons, trying to do all the side quests. And I did die a lot at the bosses. Even like some regular battles, I've been dying. It's tough, man. You know, you got to keep everybody's health up. I keep running low on potions, so I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So how about you? What have you been playing?
I'm gonna surprise you, Dave. I'm gonna surprise you. You're gonna be shocked.
Dan, you can't surprise me. I am unsurprisable.
I've been playing Fallout 76 on Xbox.
What? I take it back. I'm surprised. Wow, Fallout 76. All right, so I'm assuming you got it at a really good price, right?
It was like $10.
Yeah, okay. So
I mean, I bought it last year, right?
You did, yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember you getting it. I'm like, why?
Something along those lines. I said NPCs. They're gonna be in the game, so of course I want to get it.
They are now, as of the latest update, the Wastelander update. They put in NPCs. I don't know how it works. What thoughts? Tell me.
It makes two of us. I haven't played that much of it. I cracked it open. I've only played like an hour of it.
Okay.
I spent a lot of time in the vault because there's a lot of things you could pick up and read and stuff. So I didn't want to miss anything. And then I got out of the vault. It looks just like Fallout 4. And it's still just like the Outer Worlds. The people look weird. You know, just the facial expressions, eyes, face, just everyone looks so weird. Looks like I mean, and Fallout 4 got a lot of flack for that too. Well, I take that back. I think it should have got more flack for it. I think people sort of gave it a pass, but it just
the people in the world sort of look like last gen.
Instead
of current gen.
Yeah, the animations for the characters are a little bit stiff, and yeah.
So when you get, first of all, I think even without the update, there are NPCs in the game, just like in the beginning, just a bit in the beginning of the game, because these guys were waiting for me, and they're like telling me what's going on in the world, and it's like, where have you been? Like, you don't know what's going on, and I could lie to them about stuff. They give you a weapon to start you off, right? I already did sort of a quest where the person said, "Hey, you want something? Sure, I'll give it to you. You got to do this for me."
Right. Yeah.
So it reminds me of Fallout 4 a lot. I haven't run into anybody yet.
You will.
It's on my docket. I like to have at least 4 or 5 games in rotation at once, right? Where I have like 2 portable games, probably retro or for the Switch, and then I have a couple other games in the hopper. And this is sort of a game I'll jump in and out of, while I'm listening to podcasts. My only irritation is, because I don't like to do any button mapping, because I'm going to play it the way the developer sort of intended it, right? And to jump is Y, right? And if you're a PlayStation fan, that would be triangle. Yep. The world jumps with triangle. You jump with X or circle.
Right. X, right? Circle, maybe square, right?
Yeah, like who jump? Not even square. I don't even want to jump with square. I want to punch you with square. Like why? Like I want to open a door with square. I don't want to. I want to jump with triangle. Like this is ludicrous.
To be fair, Fallout really isn't a game about jumping. So it's interesting that they put that in there.
It ain't Final Fantasy VII. At some point you gotta jump. So I fell off a rock, and I'm like, how do I get back up? And I'm like, I guess I can't jump. And then I was like, the Y button is the jump. This is so weird. So,
right. I don't know, man.
All right. So why don't we take a break? When we come back, we'll go over the top gaming news of last week.
And Dan is going to test my knowledge about The Legend of Zelda.
This is Justin from the Lit Gaming Arena podcast, and you're listening to Rated G for Gamers.
And we're back. Let's get into the top gaming news of last week. We have to start with Bethesda. Bethesda, id Software, what are you doing? And as a side note, I got to say, I got my own grievances with Bethesda, because when I played Fallout 76, guess what I had to do? Log in the stupid Bethesda net. Okay?
Yeah, man.
Guess who forgot his Bethesda net password again?
It's with every game now. They want you to log into their service.
You can't. It's every game. I can't. I don't remember. I don't care. Like, let me just play the stupid game.
Right. It's like when you had to log into the Rockstar Social Club to play any of the Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead games or whatever. It's like,
but it seems Bethesda's issues, and I'm bringing it back to the top. Right, id Software is owned by Bethesda, so I'm just taking it to the top. They still have issues with Doom Eternal, the PC version right now, because they added some anti-cheat software. But now they're saying, everyone was going crazy in it, but now they're going to remove it, right? Now, Dave, you can really talk about this, because this goes for Doom Eternal on the PC, which you have purchased. I got it on console.
Yeah, well, I purchased it, and I really just purchased plastic, because there was no disc
still
inside.
A digital code in it.
There was a paper disc, and it said, "Here's your digital code." I said, "Motherfucker!" I was salty over that, right? So I had to download it. I downloaded it again recently because I just refreshed my whole entire computer, reinstalled Windows, so it's nice and clean and running nice. And I'm like, I gotta get Doom Eternal again, jump back into it. So I downloaded Doom again, and I knew of this story of de novo, right? This anti-cheat mechanism, right? And all games try and put in some sort of anti-cheat. There was, Punkbuster was a thing back in the day, which was used in Call of Duty, and basically not all anti-cheat programs are created equal, right? You may have heard some talk about Valorant. the game from Riot, who does League of Legends, right? They finally put out a second game. That game has an anti-cheat system that is very, very similar to Denuvo, but from a different company. And like the problem with this anti-cheat technology is that it gets really deep down in your computer, right? It goes down to like the root level, right? Level 0 or something like that, I think. So it's something that you won't be able to see, find, root out, or destroy, or like remove or delete if you're just kind of running through Windows, right? Because it's like on a layer below the standard Windows file system, right? So it's like, it's very deep down in there, and it can essentially do whatever it wants because it's on this like a whole nother level of permissions, right? And the reason they do that is because, well, they don't want people getting in there, disabling it, and then going into Doom Eternal and playing their multiplayer, right? So I get like why they're doing it, but it's shitty, right? It is very hard to get rid of. Sony did this back in the day with like Secure ROM, right? That was a big thing. Like a lot of the audio CDs, when you put them in the computer, it would put a thing on there.
You couldn't. You actually couldn't. I got Anne Marie's second album back in the day, right? And she was under Sony.
Yeah,
and I tried to get that song on my iTunes for my original iPhone, and I couldn't because they had that anti-software on the disc. So I actually had to pay for it. I had to pay for the songs I wanted.
Yep.
Because I couldn't get the whole album on there.
Right.
But
oh, sorry.
But it happened with Sony's, Sony Music Group. But as let me play a little devil's advocate here. Because I am oblivious to this because I don't have a PC and I don't own Doom Eternal PC. If you're not cheating, what do you care?
Oh, well, here's the thing. Just like with Secure ROM and like Star Force that Ubisoft was pushing for a long while, these programs have been known and documented to F your system up. So they cause unintended consequences. They cause your computer to crash every now and again. Certain programs and things don't run properly, right? Because this thing is running like haywire at like the root level, and it has unintended consequences. So where they're like trying to do one particular thing, they end up doing multiple things, and it makes your Windows experience terrible. All right. So it's not like, it's fine. It's just an anti-cheat program, right? I'm not going to go ahead and cheat. So there's that, right? It always has these side effects, which are terrible. The other thing is like, at least with like Denuvo, they had a little prompt that said, hey, you need to allow Denuvo to run, right? Which I did because I wanted to try out the multiplayer, which when I was playing it last wasn't ready yet, and now it is. So I installed it knowing that they're going to put a patch out to remove it in the next update. So I shouldn't have it on my system for too long. But the reason people were up in arms over this, beyond the whole like, hey, we're going to install this rootkit, was it was apparently affecting single player performance. Right? People were getting drops in frame rate where they were having like fine gameplay before. We're getting like, 20 and 30 frames per second versus like 50 or 60. So it was having a significant performance on gameplay. Bethesda says no. They said that wasn't particularly the reason, but it's hard to say. And now they're removing it, right? So everyone was like up in arms over it. So
I feel like the damned if they do, damned if they don't, because they try to stop cheating, right? And in multiplayer with PCs, and they put this sort of thing in place. Now, what if they fixed whatever issues Denuvo you have with it? What if they fix that, right? Then would you be okay with having it on? Because if they don't have this and people cheat on multiplayer, it's going to be like, Bethesda, why do you allow cheating on my, on multiplayer in Doom Eternal? I can't enjoy my multiplayer experience.
There were
people up in arms over that. There's people up in arms over cheating in any multiplayer game.
There are other better ways to handle that. This is one particular way that's a little heavy-handed. Yeah, I mean, it's the execution of it, right? It's like, you want to reduce crime in your city. You say, well, by any means necessary, right? We'll get the crime numbers down. It's got bad optics, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's just not good, and you will never really know what's going on behind the scenes in that particular rootkit at like level 0, right? They could be sending all this information to Bethesda without your knowledge, and it's like, well, I don't want that to happen, but well, you have to, right? And I guess like the final bit was people had to install it, even if they weren't playing the multiplayer, right? It is a solid single player game. The multiplayer is another component to it, so.
Well, would it be a little bit better if they said you only have to install it if you want to play multiplayer? The multiplayer will not run unless this is installed, but you could play the single player game.
That would 100% be a step in the right direction.
Okay.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right, that makes sense.
For sure.
That makes sense. And you know what else is a step in the right direction?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do you want to sign into Bethesda Net account? No. All right. Have fun. Enjoy the game.
See, yeah. See, but you can make the same argument for that as like, well, they're doing it to improve your user experience and this and that, but it's super annoying. Like, people don't like it. I didn't like it when I had to sign up for it, and not to mention they made me install this bogus plugin to sign into the service for some reason, and it was a terrible plugin. Like, why? Why did I have to have a plugin just to like sign in? Yeah, I don't even know what it was. I immediately uninstalled it after I created my Bethesda Net account. Anyway,
right. Let's move on. As I said earlier, it's June, right? Well, this will be June coming up. This is E3 month. Usually, I'm super excited for E3 month.
Yeah.
However, it's E3 summer, essentially, right? That everyone says they're going to have something throughout the summer. We have Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest.
Yep.
We have IGN's Summer of Gaming event. We have Microsoft's Xbox 2020 monthly updates.
Right. We got the online Gamescom coming and a couple other fests that have gone digital.
Guerrilla Collective's Indie Game Showcase.
Right.
And now we have a new Game Plus Expo that will showcase over 40 games coming from Sega, Atlus. Technically, Sega and Atlus are the same.
Yeah.
Atlus is owned by Sega,
I guess, right? Yeah.
All right. Just to name a few companies that are involved. I'm excited. Look, this is really exciting. I mean, SNK is joining this.
Yeah.
NIS America.
Very Japanese heavy, it seems. Yeah.
Yeah, Tecmo America, Way Forward. I'm excited. I mean, look, the Tokyo Game Show was canceled, right? We talked about that 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes sense. This is sort of like a Tokyo Game Show's E3 throughout the summer. I'm super excited to see this. I think both sides, and when I say both sides, I mean developers / publishers and the ESRB are going to learn something this year. And I think they're both going to, I hope, I'm being wishful thinking, I hope both sides will learn that they need each other, right? So, and what I mean by that is we have so many different events, festivals, showcases. There's inevitably going to be something that's going to overlap someone else, right? And somebody else is not going to get as much shine as they maybe should if they had a governing body, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. And the best example I can think of is what if any game, you know what? Any game. I was going to say Soul Calibur 6, but any game, Soul
Calibur 7, you mean in that case? 6 is already out.
Soul Calibur 7, or insert game here, right? X game. Any game comes out the same day that Rockstar announces Grand Theft Auto 6. They're going to get stomped on, right? They're going to, it's not that no one cares, but the internet's not going to explode over that. Your game is going to get buried, right? No one's really going to talk about it, and there goes your hype that you were looking for. So that's inevitably going to happen. I think the ESRB needs to see that you can do things digitally. I mean, the cost of going to E3 is sort of expensive, but you need a governing body to oversee and say, you know what? If you're going to come out GTA 6, or if Rockstar is going to announce something, we need to make sure that you have full, like you have this chunk of time and no one else is going to have that chunk of time.
Yeah,
right?
you got to do the traffic directing, right? You don't want things to get lost in the shuffle. It's like, all right, well, you're going this day, and then you can go this day, and you can go this day, and here's how we're going to do it. And we'll put it under the umbrella. You know, we'll kind of brand it as a thing. You guys can do it in your own way, but just don't step on the feet, right? I mean, I can get behind that, right? Because it also gives, like, the little guys a chance to get, you know, their time in the news cycle, right? Everyone puts their articles out about, you know, here's this new game. Here's, like, Soul Calibur 7, right? And it doesn't get overshadowed by, you know, GTA 6. Like,
yeah, you know, the Order 1887, when that comes out, I need it to have as much shine as possible on that game.
Right.
Okay? All right?
Oh.
I don't need it overshadowed by GTA 6.
We need something to have three-time nominations. All right.
Only game in history to be nominated for Game of the Year
That's
three
right.
times in a row.
That's right. That's right. It's like the Booker T of nominations.
There you go. There you go. All right, so New Game Plus. I'm excited. North America and Japan will come together June 23rd to showcase over 40 games. So I'm excited. And talking about a company that has a lot of games.
Yep.
Let's talk about THQ's parent company.
THQ
Embracer Group. Okay, Embracer Group owns THQ Nordic, Koch Media. They own developers Deep Silver, Saber Interactive, and Milestone. Right?
Not to be confused with the Koch brothers, all right? They are two completely different entities.
Yes. They have over 118 games under development, including 69 games yet to be announced. Like, that's insane.
Can I just say one thing about that?
Why couldn't they have 70 games unannounced? Why it had to be 69?
No. I just have one thing to say. Damn. That is a lot of games. That's crazy.
Well, I can almost guarantee you that a lot of those are mobile games.
I'm sure there's a lot of mobile, there's a lot of indie stuff in there, but that's a lot of games.
And we still haven't got Biomutant. We played Biomutant 2 years ago.
It was great, man. Yeah.
It was great. I'm waiting for it. Put it out already. The PS5 and Xbox Series X are almost out, and we still haven't got Biomutant. We thought this was coming out already.
Yeah, so it's interesting. THQ Nordic, or I guess Embracer Group, is like the parent of that, but they've made great strides, right? THQ, as we knew them back in the day, the kind of the budget titles, SpongeBob SquarePants, like Nickelodeon, all those games came out on there. All the wrestling games were produced by THQ. They were good, but THQ did so much stuff, but it was a lot of shovelware. Company folded. THQ Nordic comes in, right? I guess they bought the name, branded it slightly, and they're picking up all these dead franchises. They're like, yeah, we'll take it. We'll go ahead and give it a new life. So they have a lot of games under their umbrella. I am certain that all of those franchises that they picked up have games in production, as well as the aforementioned mobile games and indie games. So
that's a lot of games.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a
it's
lot of
fucking,
games.
that is crazy. That has to be like more than Sony, more than Microsoft has in the hopper, right?
Combined.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah, I think even almost combined.
Well, to be fair, we're talking about Xbox. Microsoft, we're talking about Sony. Those are first-party studios. 118 games in development. That means they're spreading out. The budgets vary, right?
Well, sure.
Microsoft and Sony first-party studios, those budgets are astronomical. So maybe not as many games, but the quality of those games would be significantly better because they have the money and the time put into it, right?
Yep.
Which is what Stadia needs to start doing. And I keep talking about Stadia because I want Stadia to do well. Listen, I am not all for the all digital future, but I'm not against a digital world. Okay. So
You want them to peacefully coexist.
I want them to peacefully coexist. Yes. And the only way that's going to happen, and we talked about this years ago with the Switch, right? Is when games start releasing side by side, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, right? When development cycles catches up and it's coming out the same day or around the same window, that's when, and you have the actual choice of, you know what, I'm going to get it for the Switch instead of somewhere else, right? Stadia needs that because they keep coming out with these Stadia Connects with games that we already have on other platforms for like the last couple of years.
I know. You're right. They are kind of lagging, like the Switch releases are lagging.
But Stadia is doing what Epic is doing to sort of compete, and that is buying exclusivity. And that's costing Stadia's exclusivity is delaying console game releases.
Mm-hmm.
We have and this is, this was inevitable. Serious Sam 4. Okay.
Yep. Planet Badass.
The Serious Sam series, a lot of those games were exclusive on original Xbox. All right. They were supposed to launch with the PS4. They were supposed to come out on PS4 and Xbox One this year, but that's been delayed now till next year because now it's only releasing on PC and Stadia in August because Stadia sort of paid for exclusivity.
Yeah.
For at least a year.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be the future. I mean, listen, Microsoft's done it. Sony's done it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at like
it just makes sense.
You look at like the Tomb Raider games. There was a Tomb Raider game that had exclusive DLC, timed DLC or whatever for one particular.
No,
console.
the game itself was.
Oh, the game. Yeah, that's right. That's right. The game itself. We have had timed DLC for some other games. So yeah, there's definitely some precedent there. It's not a good one, but it's there.
And then look, Sony and Activision with Crash and Spiral. Even though I can sort of see that exclusivity because those games sort of started on Sony's platform, right? And it just sort of made sense for it to be released, with Sony in mind, and then other platforms later on. Mm-hmm. So, and they enticed me to buy it on a Switch because they had extra levels on there,
right?
So if you're a really serious Sam fan, either get Google Stadia or you're gonna have to wait a year until 2021.
Yeah.
Not a lot of news this last week, but I want to end on a good note. I want to say happy birthday to an iconic figure in video games, and that is Pac-Man. You and Dave are now 40 years old.
Hey. I ain't there yet. I got a couple months to go. All right. Oh, so that's what's wild.
That hurts. It hurts, right?
No, it's fine. I'm okay with it. Trust me, I am well beyond when I turn like 30. I don't know about you, but I had that like party up on the roof. You came by. That did we did a whole thing, and it was cool. The next day I get up and I'm like, I don't feel any different. I'm good. Just like keep it moving. Like my 30s better than my 20s, so I can only assume my 40s are going to be better than my 30s. All right, moving on up, man. Moving on up.
But you and Pac-Man are both in that same bracket, right? So you have history, but you have history with Pac-Man, right? On the Atari.
I have. So I have a little story about Pac-Man. Back in the day when I was very little and we only had the Atari at the time, this goes to show, I didn't get the NES till 87, right? That's when I got it with Zelda and Mario Brothers, and it's the best Christmas ever. But so we had the Atari, and my brother had to do a science experiment. So he did a whole thing about reaction times, right? And he had this big thing of oak tag, and he had like me play Pac-Man, and he had my mom and my dad play Pac-Man, and it was like, all right, he's gonna measure reaction times and put the stats down and do a whole like thing about it. So my mom plays she's playing the Atari version of Pac-Man, so rip on that. And two, she my brother was like, all right, here's what you got to do. You have to go collect the pellets, dodge the ghosts, and the little blinking things in the corner are the power pellets. You can use those to eat the ghosts. She goes, okay, I think I get it. And you just move around with the stick. That's it. It's easy. So she starts playing, right? And she gets backed into a corner. The ghosts come after her, and she like screams and drops the controller because she knows she's going to die. And she's like, that's it, I'm done. And she's basically never played a video game since.
Oh my god!
Yeah, this is like the one and only time that she played Pac-Man. I thought it was the funniest thing. I was dying. I'm like, Mom, it's fine. I was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 at the time or whatever. But it's so funny.
Oh my god! Imagine she played Super Mario Brothers and the Goomba hit her.
Yeah.
She and then she falls, like right because you get hit, you jump and you sort of jump up and then go down into nowhere.
Yeah, it can be real frustrating, right? Because you don't want your guy to die, right? You're like, okay, this is me. Like, I'm sure she was projecting that, like, I am Pac-Man, right? Because when you move the stick, he moves, and it's like, okay, this is me. I gotta live. I can only think that's what's going through her mind, right?
Well, technically, even Mario, right? Like, you are killing a Goomba. You're stomping on him, and then he disappears. So it's either you or him.
Right. Someone's got to go, man.
Someone has to go. Someone got to go, and it ain't going to be me.
That's right. That's right. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, right? And
dog-eat-dog world.
Live.
So I just want to say happy 40th anniversary to Pac-Man. I have like 1 million Pac-Man games. I have an Atari version, PlayStation version, Game Boy version, Mrs. Pac-Man. I got Pac-Man Adventure, Pac-Man Land. You keep, you name it, I have it in the collection. So Pac-Man wasn't the first game I ever played. At least I don't think it was, but I did definitely play Pac-Man in arcades back in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of the late 80s. For me, where I was like old enough to play in the arcade. And it was always the easiest thing to pick up and go, right? Because the premise was simple: eat all the pellets and not get touched by any of the ghosts. So happy, here's to you. Cheers, happy anniversary, Pac-Man. So we're gonna take another break, and when we come back, we're gonna test Dave's knowledge of Legend of Zelda. Let's play a game. Let's test your knowledge on the Legend of Zelda. If you're listening, you can play along too. Now, I have a snowball curveball question for you.
Curveball question. You mean a softball question?
All right. We're playing softball, and it's a snowball that I'm throwing a curveball at you.
Okay. All right. Bring it on. I'm ready. I got my Link hat on. I'm ready.
In the Legend of Zelda. A Goron. What does a Goron eat?
Oh, come on now, Dan. Come on. Is this going to be the level of questions? This is easy. This is. You're right. This is a snowball over the plate. Gorons eat rocks.
All right, Dave. You got that answer right. Why don't you come on down and let's play How Well Do You Know Zelda?
Woo!
All right, Dave. I have 10 Zelda questions for you, courtesy of NintendoLife.com and Nintendo.com. So if you're listening to that at home, if you disagree with the answers, you can take it up with Nintendo or Nintendo Life, not me.
All right, fair enough.
I didn't make these questions up. All right.
All right.
So each question will have 4 multiple choice answers, and I will give Dave time to answer. All right. And I'm just going to reveal the answer right after. Okay, we're not going to wait till the end.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and then we're going to tally up the score.
All right.
And see how many Dave can get right. So, Dave, not including re-releases or remakes, how many mainline Nintendo Legend of Zelda games featured Link in the title? Was it 3, 4, 5, or 6?
Wow, how many Legend of Zelda games have the word Link in the title? So not including re-releases.
Not re-releases or remakes. Main title Nintendo Legend of Zelda.
Right,
games.
and the reason they're saying re-releases and remakes is Link's Awakening would end up counting twice. So Link's Awakening is 1 for the Game Boy. I know that. So there's definitely at least 1.
I have my poker face on. I cannot help.
So there is that. Well, the Legend of Zelda is the Legend of Zelda. Like the fucking king daddy of them all doesn't have Link in it. But Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, is 2. Right? So there's at least 2. So there's got to be at least a minimum of 3. Right?
I cannot confirm or deny until you give a final answer. And you must say, final answer.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm still working through it. Okay. Now, there was a Link's crossbow training, but I'm going to assume that does not count as a mainline Zelda game. So I'm gonna put that one aside. All right. So it's definitely not that. So then like moving on, we have Zelda. What was originally known as Zelda 3, but it would be The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, right? Which counts as 3. So we're already at the minimum, right? We're already at answer A. There is also A Link Between Worlds, which is not a remake. It is not a re-release. It is technically a sequel to A Link to the Past. So A Link Between Worlds puts it at 4. All right, so we already have 4. I feel like there may be a couple more, right? So then you got to go Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, no. Majora's Mask, no. Oracle of Ages and Seasons, no, because they're all just Legend of Zelda : that game. Legend of Zelda: Four Swords Adventure, also not. Wind Waker doesn't count. Twilight Princess doesn't count. Skyward Sword doesn't count. Breath of the Wild doesn't count. Right. So we're still at 4. Now, do mainline Zelda games count the CDI games? Because there were 3. Right. There's the Legend of Zelda: The Wand of Gamelon. There was Legend of Zelda: Faces of Evil, I think. And Legend of Zelda, there was the third one. There was 3 of them. There were 2 with Link and 1 with Zelda. I don't think any of those count. Now,
what's your final answer?
Well, hold on, because I got to go back to the Game Boy only had a Link's Awakening. They had a DX version, which would be the remaster, I guess, in that case, or the DX version. Then there was the remake on the Switch, so that only counts once. The Game Boy Color had 2. Those were Oracle of Ages and Seasons. GBA had the Minish Cap, also doesn't count. And then we had Spirit Tracks and the Phantom Hourglass for the DS, right? 3DS had Link Between Worlds. 3DS had the Ocarina remake, right? Ocarina 3D. That still wouldn't count because Link's not in the name. No, it's B4.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, final answer. I'm locking it in.
You are correct, sir.
Yes.
It is only Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, A Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, and A Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. You are correct.
Bam, baby. All right, let's keep it going.
You get point on the board. All right, now you had mentioned this, sir. You had mentioned this, but you didn't really. You were kind of unsure. So let's test your knowledge of the Philips CDI games. The Philips CDI hosted 3 poorly received non-Nintendo Zelda games. Which of the following was not a Philips CDI title? We have Link Faces of Evil. We have Zelda: The Wand of the Triforce. We have Zelda's Adventure and Link's Adventure.
Was it the... Okay. So, Zelda's Adventure is definitely 1. Faces of Evil is 1, because I mentioned it. The Wand of Triforce. Maybe it is Link's Adventure and Zelda's Adventure? I think it's B, Dan. I think it's the Wand of Triforce. Is there a Link's Adventure? Fuck. See, now I'm like second guessing myself. It definitely Faces of Evil and definitely Zelda's Adventure, right? I know that.
I don't know. My poker face is on.
Well, yeah. Well, this is an audio podcast, so I can't see.
My podcast voice is on, I should say.
Podcast voice is on? All right. There's no way I can try and eke it out of you. So it has to be either B or D. God, is it Link's Adventure? The Wand of Triforce doesn't sound right.
Patiently waiting for Dave to make his answer. Which one will he pick?
The Wand of Triforce. All right, I'm going B. Locking it in. Final answer.
Locking it in? Final answer?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Dave. You are wrong.
It's Link's Adventure, isn't it?
It's Link's Adventure.
I knew it! My God, I second guessed myself. Oh, that's terrible.
Link's Adventure. You are right, my sir. I mean, it sounds like it would be correct. It does sound like it would be correct. They really should be Link's Adventure, but it is unfortunately not Link's Adventure.
That's unfair. All right.
You can make it up on the next one. All right. Which Zelda game celebrated its 20th anniversary at the end of April 2020? Will it be Majora's Mask, Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, or Wind Waker?
Oh, this is easy. This is easy. So I can tell you, I know the answer right off the bat, but I'm going to go ahead and do you one better. So, Wind Waker was like 2002 on the GameCube. So that would put us at 2022, which doesn't count. The Ocarina of Time, 1998 with the gold cartridge on the N64. So that would put you at 2018. Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, the original, 1992, if I'm not mistaken. So that means it's got to be Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, released in 2000.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer. Locking it in.
You were correct, sir. You're back on the board. It was Majora's Mask.
See? There we go. All right.
You're back doing your winning ways, sir. I got to give it to you. You had me worried there with the last one.
All right. No, I'm in.
Okay, so let's test your knowledge on the original Legend of Zelda. In the original game, an old man gives Link a sword. In the new Breath of the Wild game, an old man gives Link what? A bow and arrow, bad advice, baked apples, or breakable armor?
Oh, shoot. Bad advice. That may be the answer. Oh, man.
You've played like 100 hours of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and this probably happened in the first 20 minutes.
It happened in the first 5 minutes, the first minute of the game. You walk out of the plateau, and then you're like, hey, old man.
And let me correct something. I did say let's test your knowledge of the original game. I meant let's test your knowledge of the last game, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Well, all the armor is... No, armor's not breakable. So it's not armor. I think the apples are in like a pot next to the old man, like, because he's got a little like stove or whatever. You can pick those up. So I don't think it's that. The bad advice thing is funny, but it's also subjective. I'm gonna have to go A, bow and arrow.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer. Locking it in.
I'm sorry, sir. You are wrong. You were almost there. It is baked apples. He gives you something to eat to help you with your strength. Sir.
Ah, God, jeez. Wow. All right. Jesus.
You were almost there. You were on the cusp, and I wanted to just scream out so much. You got it. Don't overthink it. So you're 2 for 2, my friend. Only 4, but it's okay. It's early. All right, let's also test your knowledge of the Breath of the Wild. Let's stick with the Breath of the Wild. In the original game, okay, skull-shaped feature is part of the dungeon, but in Breath of the Wild, the skull-shaped feature is what? An enemy hideout, a hidden level, a shrine, or none of the above?
This skull-shaped feature is part of the dungeon. Well, they're referring to the last level, right? The map is the skull.
That is correct.
Yeah, okay. It's... Oh, the skulls are, I mean, when you end up fighting the bokoblins, right? They always leave a little treasure chest inside the skull. Yeah, it's an enemy hideout.
Final answer?
Final answer.
You're back on the board! You are correct, sir.
Right. Let's go.
You are correct, sir.
I got more than half of them right. I'm 3 out of 5 right now. So.
All right. You are on the board. All right. You keep this up. You actually may win this quiz.
I'm gonna win this quiz, Dad. I got it now. No,
Well,
no fails from here on out.
Well, let's see if you know the order of all the mainline Zelda games. Chronologically, according to in-game universe Nintendo, which game is the first game chronologically in the series? Okay, is it The Legend of Zelda? Well, we're talking story-wise, not the actual game release. Okay.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
So It is story-wise.
Okay, that was gonna say.
So, is it the original Legend of Zelda? Is it Zelda 2, The Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, or Skyward Sword?
Okay, because I was gonna say, wait, the answers are already in their debut year order, right? 87,
Yes.
87, 88, 96, and 2011, I think. But that makes it way too easy. All right, so I know this, right? So this was the chronological fan timeline that somebody put online that Nintendo put into their Hyrule Historia, which then became canon for all of the events that happened, right? And we do know that Breath of the Wild is the last in the Zelda timeline as of now. And we also know what the beginning of the universe is. And one of those games is on that list, all right? So we know that Skyward Sword is the beginning because they say so in the game. There's definitely lore about it, and you learn that like as you go through the game. It was the beginning of like Hylia and all that, and like the Sky Palace and all this stuff. There's a ton of lore in there, so I know that that's the beginning, right? I also know, going by the official timeline, is that there are 3 possible outcomes at the end of Ocarina of Time, which splits into 3 different universes. It's the multiverse theory for Zelda, and it makes sense. And Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2 are one branch of that, and they are on the same branch. Zelda 2 is a direct sequel to the original Legend of Zelda. So, final answer is Skyward Sword, Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda, and then Zelda 2, Adventures of Link.
Congratulations! You got 2 in a row! Yes, you are correct, sir. Chronologically, Skyward Sword is the first Zelda in the timeline, story-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Look at you. First time you got 2 in a row, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if you can make it 3. All right?
Mm-hmm.
We are going to test your knowledge of Breath of the Wild again. We're going back to it. You got it. Come on. You got this. You got this. In the original game, Link had a green tunic. In Breath of the Wild, Link is wearing what? A bathrobe and slippers? A bright blue tunic? A fancy tuxedo? Or none of the above?
Oh, well, this is way too easy given all the answers. Right. So, or maybe it's not. So he's not wearing a bathrobe and slippers, right? Because he awakes in the pool. He awakes in the pool. He is birthed from the pool, right? And he's obviously not wearing a fancy tuxedo. I don't even think that's an outfit that you can get in the game. Oh, so it doesn't say what he was starting out with. It says is what he is normally wearing. Yeah, so the answer is a bright blue tunic with the little white lines on it. Yeah, answer B, bright blue tunic.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
You got 3 in a row. Congratulations.
Let's go, baby.
Now, admittedly, that is actually a question from Nintendo.com.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a little bit too easy. I thought that was like the easiest question out of all these questions.
Yeah.
I could have spiced it up a little bit, but I figured I didn't know how well you'd be doing at this point in time in the quiz, so I left it in there for you.
All right.
Let's go to question. Let's go to the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Which of the following Zelda games has the lovable Tinkle not appeared in?
All right, I take objection. I take objection to this. Lovable Tingle?
Listen,
I don't know how many people.
I don't make the questions.
I
just read them.
He is a character in the universe.
Well, technically, he's lovable in Japan because Japan got a Tingle game, exclusive Tingle game.
I know,
for the 3DS.
It is highly suggestive.
So, all right. So, for the purposes of Dave, which of the following Zelda games has the Tingle character not appeared in?
Much better. Now I can answer the question.
Okay. Is it Majora's Mask, Minish Cap, Oracle of Ages, or Twilight Princess?
Ooh, this one's a little tough, actually. So I know.
He's on a streak of 3. Will he make it 4?
So I know Tingle's in the Minish Cap. I know that. So that is one game off the list. Twilight Princess? Possibly. Tingle is in Majora's Mask. The Minish Cap, Majora's Mask are out. And I think he's in Ages. So Tingle started in Ocarina, right? That was his debut. I'm gonna say D, Twilight Princess.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer. Lock it in.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You on the roll! You are correct, sir. It was Twilight Princess.
I'm good, man.
Not in it.
Good.
All right, let's see if the streak will continue. Now, things get a little bit harder from here. What is the name of Link's talking boat in the Wind Waker? Is it King of Blue Fins, King of Red Lions, King of Golden Sunset, or King of White Waves?
Well, we know he's a king. So, we got that going.
Maybe I should have threw a Prince question in.
Yeah, right.
Answer
right?
in
Prince
here.
answer? Yeah.
Prince of the White Waters.
Okay, so this is actually kind of interesting. So, King of the White Waves would be kind of interesting, right? Because the white curl of the wave. But I'm pretty sure that's not the answer, right? The Golden Sunset is kind of interesting too, but they don't necessarily have like a full-on. Do they have a full-on day-night cycle? Can you actually see the sun go down in Twilight Princess? Or not Twilight Princess, Wind Waker? Even if you can, I don't think that's the answer. King of Blue Fins? Yeah, it's definitely not King of Blue Fins. I'm gonna go King of Red Lions because it is a red boat. All right, and he does have a little kind of dragony head on there, a lion head. Yeah, I'm gonna go B, King of Red Lions.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer. Lock it in.
The streak continues. It is a red boat with a red lion head because he is the King of Red Lions. You are on a roll, sir.
There we go.
Let's see if you can finish strong.
Put some ketchup and mustard on there. Throw a little spice on top, all right? Finishing strong.
Here is the last. Well, you gotta have some pickles too.
There you go, right? You gotta do it up. Make it up the
It's a party. It's Memorial Day weekend barbecue.
That's right.
So, here is the last question.
Mm-hmm.
Question 10. What is Gandalf's last name? Is it
Ganondorf's last name?
Link, Dragmire, Grymore, or Mandrag?
Woo! Interesting that there's none of the above here, right? Because you think Ganondorf, Ganon, never had a last name. Untrue.
He has one.
Yes, I can tell you which game it debuted in. That's Ocarina of Time. I know that. It's definitely not Link. They are not related.
You said none of the above. You wanted a none of the above answer. That could be it. I'll throw you a bone. That could be it.
It's definitely not Link. They are not related in any of the timelines or any of the games or stories or plots. So I know that. As of the last 3, they're all pretty equal in terms of I could see Ganondorf's last name being, Dragmire, Grimoire, or Mandrag. But I do know the answer. I believe it appears. Believe it appears when you fight him in the first dungeon, right? The forest temple, I think, right? Not the giant tree, but the forest temple. And right, because he comes out of the painting on the horse and he's riding around, and I believe it says Ganondorf Dragmire. So it's B. That's my answer.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
All right, this is the last question. Did Dave finish strong, or did he finish weak? Who knows? I know. You know why? Because they've got it right. That is correct. It is
Boom,
Fire.
baby. Boom. Who knows their Zelda knowledge?
You have great Zelda knowledge. You
Wow.
got 8 out of 10 right. That is an 80. The same score the original Fable got, because it's a great game, no matter what Dave says.
Wow.
Congratulations.
You had to go and ruin it. You had to go and ruin it, right? You had to go bring up
Dave.
Fable.
Congratulations, Dave.
All right, I'll take it. Wow, that actually made me think a little bit. That actually made me think a little bit. There were definitely some tough questions in there. Yeah. Nice. I'll take it. I'll take my 8 out of 10. Take my 8 out of 10. I told you I was right, though. I got the last 5. I said from here on out, they're all going to be right. Boom. Nice. All right. Well, folks, that about does it. Zelda quiz is over. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed this episode. It's definitely been a fun ride for us. And we definitely appreciate everything that you guys do, listening to the show and this and that. If you want to interact with us, and we know you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. You can support us for as little as $1, folks. Also, don't forget to check out our other show, Saturday Morning Retro, which we're trying to do once a month. So we're going to have a great episode coming up next month. We got a special guest lined up. We will let you know about that in the near future, so stay tuned for that. And finally, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance, so check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
Keep gaming.